fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. So personally, Banana Split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 10 minutes before 10 o'clock. Nice looking Thursday. Hope you are doing well. The way life is, Robin, we learn new things all the time. If you have a test in front of you and you are being asked a question, you're not sure of the answer. Do you ever write something down even though you don't know if you're right or not?
Yes.
Okay, so
yeah,
I have a test in front of me. I'm pretending.
Okay.
And the question is, what is blockchain, right?
Yes.
And here's my answer. Now, I might be wrong, but I'm guessing at this because I honestly don't know. This is like a new word in my vocabulary. And just so you know, and you probably guessed this, we have guests who are going to straighten me out on this. I think blockchain is a way to keep your information private when you're doing something on the internet, like cyber currencies, that kind of thing, right?
Yes.
Wasn't there another thing they were using blockchain for, which was for dating or something like that?
Yes.
Remember that?
For dating.
Okay, well, that's as much as I know, so I probably got a D or something. There might be something to that. Gabe Greenberg is on the phone. He's an industry advisor on blockchain and the CEO and co-founder of something called GabCon, which is Global Audience-Based Buying Conference and Consultancy. And Adam Helfgott is on the phone. Also, he's the CEO of MadHive, which is he is a tech pioneer in that. The privacy is a human right. I like the topic. Gabe Greenberg and Adam Helfgott. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Where are you guys?
I'm in New York City right now. And I am in Singapore.
Singapore? Oh my gosh. Wow, the technology is unbelievable. So did I infringe upon your privacy rights by asking where you were?
No, because we consented to tell you. That's right.
Tell me about blockchain. What is it exactly? I took a stab at it, but it was real awkward for me.
Yeah, your stab is an application of what blockchain can enable. So there's a few different simple things, but the base case to say is the internet allowed information transfer to happen seamlessly in a very fast way. So now if someone can publish something and everyone can read it and the cost is basically zero.
Yeah.
Today, if you want to spending money actually costs money online. Credit card companies take 2 to 3%, things like that. So the blockchains represent a way to transfer value in a free manner. So right now it's actually impossible for me to give you something on the internet and for me to know for sure that I don't have it anymore, right? So if I hand you a $20 bill in person, I don't have that bill anymore and you have it, and that's why it has value. On the internet, I can just give you a copy, right? So I still have it, you have it, it becomes worthless. The blockchain represents a way for me to give you that $20 bill or a piece of data or a dating profile or whatever you want to call it in a way that's, where there's one of something. And so on top of that, you can build all sorts of applications.
How is that different, or is it different from simply like banking online, that kind of thing?
So banking online, you're not. So there's whether it's Chase or Bank of America or whomever it is, you're trusting them to house your bank accounts and do things like that. And in the United States, that's not really much of an issue. We can kind of rely on the fact that one day the owner of Chase or the shareholders aren't going to say, hey, you know what? Let's just stop giving everyone access to their bank accounts and take it all.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen in this country. It actually has happened in other places. Things like that, or where where the dollar in a country goes to zero. So Bitcoin represents a way to house money or a store of value in a way, and where I actually own it and I can give it to somebody else. There's no third party mediating that except a piece of software that's open source, peer reviewed, and people agree that this is how it works, and it runs on top of the internet, and it's.
Okay, so explain to me the part of this. I know we have a very brief amount of time, and I want to make sure you are able to get in what you want to get in on this. The privacy part of this, is that what it's about? It's about you just spent something that I sold. I mean, you spent something to buy something I sold, and nobody needs to know about it but you and me?
I mean, that's part of it. I mean, if you think about the what is privacy really? It's consent. Right, so our data is being used in lots of ways we don't consent to. The biggest example is this Cambridge Analytica thing, where my survey data about what kind of celebrity I look like gets used to target right-wing propaganda to me.
Oh, yeah.
That's the people. That's concerning, right? So privacy is a human right. It's actually impossible without crazy legislation, which is happening in Europe now, to enforce the idea of consent with my data. So the MAD network protocol that's being developed today actually provides another layer on the internet, so consumers can have privacy.
So is Europe and the United States getting together to try to make sure that all of the protocol and the regulations are the same?
No, that's happening. That's not happening yet. The EU is the first to adopt these regulations. What Adam's talking about with regards to the protocol really doesn't require the government to step in. It's really the industry saying, consumers should have more control over their data, and we're going to do the right thing to adopt a protocol that allows consumers to have choice.
So when we talk about new things, I'm guessing some of the things that you guys are pioneering, the one thing that the average person wants is trust. If I put my key in my ignition and start my car, I just want to know that it's going to start. I don't need to know why it works. Is this in that same kind of category?
That's exactly
100%.
Right. Blockchain as a technology is what they call trustless, or what I like to say inherently trustful, which means when something is done on the blockchain, you can be certain and trust without question that it's done. So if you've sent someone something or received something, you can ensure that it's authentic.
And when we hear about hacking, is this immune to hacking?
Not exactly. Usually what's immune to hacking is the systems next to a blockchain protocol. So Bitcoin itself was never hacked. The people that put Bitcoins inside of something else, that was hacked, right?
Okay.
So nothing's immune to actual hacking, but that's where peer review and having open source code so that other people around the world can try to hack it and then it can be fixed.
So there's a lot of transparency to protect the brands then.
100%, right. And so it's more protect the privacy of the brands, of the publishers, and the consumers. What happens today is that the technology companies in the middle, if Ford buys advertising, the companies in the middle, like whether it's Google, Facebook, or another 200 that exist, are gleaning information from that transaction and then using it in another transaction without paying the originators for it, simply because it was the data was leaked.
Well, as much as I do want to just put the key in the ignition and start the car, it is nice and comforting to know that I may be able to actually understand some of this. Is there a website that'll help me out that you could recommend?
Yeah, there's the website on the MAD protocols called MAD, MAD network.io. And on GabCon, it's GABBCON.com.
Okay, excellent. Gabe and Adam, thank you both for being on the air with us and helping us understand this.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump has canceled his meeting with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, citing what he calls tremendous anger and open hostility from the North Koreans in a recent statement. Presumably, he's talking about the one referring to Vice President Pence as a political dummy. This meeting was supposed to be on June 12th. That's 2 weeks from next Wednesday in Singapore. The president says in a letter to Kim he looks forward to meeting him someday, calling this missed opportunity a truly sad moment in history. He's also thanking the North Korean leader, though, for recently releasing 3 American prisoners. And President Trump's considering new tariffs up to 25% on auto imports.
Mr. Trump says core industries such as automobiles and automotive parts are critical to our strength as a nation. The move comes as negotiations with Canada and Mexico on a new NAFTA deal have stalled.
That's Fox's Tom Rigotti. Fox News.